Who has seen the wind? Neither I nor you. But when the leaves are trembling, the wind is passing through. Who has seen the wind? Neither you nor I. But when the tree's head bow down, the wind is passing by. I've had my kids since last week because my ex-wife's grandpa is in hospice, and so there's a lot of time that she needs with the family right now, and having the kids would just make things a little bit difficult. So, you know, with helping the grandpa, keeping him comfortable in his last days. Today is the last day of school for them, and then they're off Wednesday, Thursday for Thanksgiving, and Friday. Or today's the last day, and then they're off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So pretty cool. So we're going to go home now. I'm going to show you guys a couple tricks on Yardbook. Today I'm going to show you how to enter a customer, put that person as a 14-day job, or you can put it as a 7-day job, so it'll be a lawn service customer. We're going to invoice that customer, and I'll show you how you print it, where you can hand deliver the invoice, or you can email it, so you can email the invoice. So that'll be today. So today we're gonna create a customer, we're gonna mow that customer, we're gonna invoice that customer, and we're gonna set that customer up to populate every 14 days on today as a due date. Okay, so Yardbook right here. So the address is yardbook.com, www.yardbook.com. All right, you go there and you're gonna register. Once you register and you tell them your name and your business name and all that stuff, the first screen that comes up once you sign in is always going to be your customer screen. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to create a customer. Johnny Mac by the railroad track called me and said, I want you to start cutting my grass today. And I told him, okay, it'll be $40 a cut. Now there's two ways to add your customers. You can go to quick add right here, or pencil, you can click add. So you can add your customer here. So I'm just gonna add a customer. If there's a red star, you have to put their address, their name, their city, their zip code. Yardbook needs that information, and it's not that Yardbook's going to bother them, like, see, their emails doesn't have to be, their phone doesn't have to be. It's just that they need that information in order for the program to properly work. So the first name will be Johnny, the last name will be Mac, Johnny Mac. We'll just do John Mac at email. Ask the customer for their email address because it will come in handy later, but if not, it's not important. Put their phone number in. There's a phone number, email, name. Now the address. Where does Johnny Mac live? You see how things will automatically start coming up? Let's say, oh, there he is, 1105 Mohawk Street. Okay, so you hit 1105 Mohawk Street. It's going to automatically populate for you. Once you're done, hit save. So that's all the information that you need to put in. Address and name. Email, phone, that's all optional. Now, are they a business? If it's a commercial account, you put the business here, like Toys R Us or whatever their account may be, their business account, and that will come up on their invoice for their tax purposes. And prospect, I don't ever use prospect. Yes, this is a potential customer, so like if you're giving an estimate or something like that, or no, it's not a I don't touch this, I don't touch that. And save. Now, it comes to your next screen, and this is a good screen to pay attention to. Here's their name, their address. Let's say I don't know how to get to their address. I don't remember how to get to their address. You hit this little thing right there, and it's going to pull up the maps for you. And then, oh, there they are right there. Too easy, right? All right, there's their email, and there's their phone number, and their payment term is net 30. This has little dot marks underneath it. So is the phone number. If you got these quick little dot marks, that means you could quickly go in. Let's say Johnny Mac calls you and says, hey, I gave you an email address, but can you send it to my work email? Here it is. You can go, yeah, sure. You don't have to go into edit. You can just quickly change that and quickly change the phone number. You don't have to edit. Here's their property. So you could put in, if you measure lawns for spraying or fertilizer, you can put it in there. It's a 8,000 square foot yard. Because in 6 months and you have 100 accounts, you're not going to remember Johnny Mac's yard size. So you could say, okay, his lawn size is 8,000 square foot. So you know you need 8,000 square feet worth of fertilizer or spray. Mulch quantity. Maybe you priced out 30 bags of mulch and they went for it. You put 30 bags of mulch down. Put 30 bags here. 30 right there. Now you know. Or 1 ton or 1 bushel or 14 bales or whatever it is that you're doing. It doesn't have to be mulch, but that's where that can go. Price per cut. Let's fill that out. $40. And last serviced, when you do invoices, this will auto-populate. Now you can add photos right here of the property. You can delete them. Or you can edit this information. Scrolling down, let's look at what we got. Here's the property, here's invoices. So if there's any invoices, it'll show up here as pending, which means they owe you, or paid, okay? Here's payments, so the last payment that you record will be put here for you. Estimates, let's say you cut their grass and they ask you for a house wash estimate or repair a fence. You can put your estimates right there to what you did. Before and after photos, I don't use notes and attachments. You can make a note, like the password for gate or purple key on keyring. You can make little notes there. We created the account. We added the price per lawn. Let's cut this grass. So we're gonna go out and we're going to create a job. You can plus job right here, and that will automatically bring up his information, or you go to jobs and then you bring in his information. We'll just do it from here. Plus job. What are we going to do here? We are going to lawn service. Some of these things are already populated, okay? The property address, Johnny Mac. There's his address. We're going to cut this yard today. Are we going to do it again? Yes. So we want to set this to recurring because we set him up for a 14-day schedule. So right here it says set to recurring. So you're going to click that. Now it's going to ask you when. When do you want it to be done? Today's Tuesday. So you click this down arrow and you say every 2 weeks on a Tuesday. That's when we want to do this guy. Well, when do you want to start? Well, we're starting it today. If you look down at our computer, today's the 22nd. So there it is. What if this guy was starting tomorrow? Then you would change it to tomorrow or the next day. Or he hires you today and he says, okay, can you do it next Tuesday? Start next Tuesday and do it every 2 weeks from that point on? Yes, then you would just do that. Now it's the 29th, but we're starting it today, so we put it there. So there it is. Every 2 weeks on Tuesday, starting with today, this job's going to auto-populate. I don't ever use this. Products and services, I don't ever use this, and I'm not too sure what billable means because I don't create invoices off of jobs. That's something you guys can figure out on your own. I manually create every invoice I do. So we're happy with this. We got him scheduled for a job. So we hit save. Okay, now here's the jobs in the future that it's going to be done. So you can look on your calendar. Maybe you keep a paper record or something. So you can go now and you can make a little paper entry on a paper calendar or whatever in pencil. And you can just put Johnny Mac on the 20th, on the 3rd, on the 13th, on the 17th. You know, just in case your computer crashes or you don't, whatever, you can make entries. But here it is. This is the job. Okay, it's ready to go. Now, if there's a change, delete recurring job. Too easy. So we created a customer. We created a job. Now we're going to go out. We're going to cut that customer. So let's go back to customers. This is your opening page in the morning. So you just signed in. It's Tuesday morning. You're getting ready to go to work, and you're like, what are my jobs for today? If you click on jobs, there it is, because we scheduled him for today. It's active. You can assign it to a crew. If you go into all of your settings up here and set up different crews, this program is humongous. There's lots of things you can do, but we don't do that. But you can assign it to a crew. It's telling you at 12 a.m. because I didn't set a start time. I don't ever set time of day for lawn service. I just say what time, and I give them a general, like, yeah, I'll be there in the morning. Pressure washing sometimes is different. I might say, yeah, I'll be there at 10 or 11, but I didn't put the time of day. So that's the job. That's the job that we got to do. We got lawn service, Johnny Mac. This one's due today. If we have 100 accounts and we have 20 yards to do today, then there'd be 20 jobs due today. And if we set them up to be recurring, then great. Then in 2 weeks, on Tuesday, then you'd have those 20 jobs again. So every morning you wake up, you click jobs, and there's your list of jobs. If it's tonight, and you want to know what you got to do for tomorrow's work, you could just open the calendar and click tomorrow's work, and we got nothing scheduled. Or somebody calls you up and says, hey, can you pressure wash my house Monday? I'll be home around 2. Can you come anytime after 2? You can click on the 28th, and then there'd be all your jobs that you have due on the 28th, and then you can tell the customer, yeah, I think I could squeeze you in, or no, it's just not possible. So it's all right there for you, too easy. So let's go back to jobs. We do jobs. I don't ever go with done or anything like that. I don't ever do that. I don't care. Nobody else looks at my program besides me. So I don't sit there and mark done. These are my jobs. I'll print this sheet out. You hit print, and then there you go. You'd have 20 of these going all the way down. You hit the little print button up here in the corner, and then whatever computer you have, whatever program you have, will send this list out. And then what I do is I'll just mark a check. If the customer paid me while I was there, I'll mark paid, check number on my piece of paper. You know what I mean? Don't write on your computer monitor. That'd be silly. That's how I do, my jobs. Now, the only other thing that we have to do now is we need to invoice this cat. That's it. That's all we got to do. So at the end of the day, I have my piece of paper, my route sheet. This would be my route sheet, okay? And I'll show you more later about creating a route to put these people in order. You don't have to do that. Sometimes you can, but if you click route and you have like 10 lawns, you can start populating your route in the order of which you want to cut these people. So you can create a flowing grid of, how you're going to hit the neighborhoods instead of bouncing around or guessing where everybody's at. Or, looking, I got 3 here and 2 there and 3 here and 4 there. And then you forget that you only do 2 and you start driving away. You can route it and put them all in order and start checking them off in order as you go, so you don't accidentally forget a house and then have to go back to that area. You go down in order. That's great, but eventually you figure it out. It's all in your head. So there you go. There's your job for the day, or your jobs for the day. Now we're done. We come home, we log back into the computer, we have our route sheet. Here's our customers, and then all of our customers will be listed here, like I said earlier. So you could just go up here to search, and we cut Johnny's. Oh, there he is. It auto comes up once you put a few letters in. If you have 100 accounts here, believe me, this comes in very handy. You click it, it's going to open him up. There it is. You cut his yard, so you scroll down to invoices. Click invoice. What did you do? We cut the yard. So you add item, and this is already done for you. These are already services that Yardbook already has. You can add services here, right here. It says, or click here to add a new one. So you can add new services. Grass cutting, the address we serviced, price per cut, $40. Remember, we put that $40 in where it said yard size, mulch, and then we put $40 in. So there it is already for you. So you click it, and boom, grass cutting, one quantity, $40. No tax, because it's a service, not parts. They owe us $40. And then here it is, subtotal $40. Any discounts, tax, past due amounts, $40. So they owe you $40. Here's the date, here's the invoice number. So you always have that reference invoice number for a customer. Now what I do is I like to come back here, and this has those little dots. You probably can't see it on the computer, on your monitor right now, but there's those little dots right here. Remember, those little dots means you can do a quick change. So I can highlight this, click next to it, and now I can put today's date, 11/22. But why, Dan? It already says 11/22 right here, because I'm going to email this invoice to my customer, and they're going to know that they don't have to pay it right away. Like, I give net 30 right here. I could change this to net 20, and there's, in the defaults, you could change this. I usually do net 20, because then they can go 2 more weeks. I cut it again, but then I kind of want to be paid after that next 2 weeks. That then creates the month. And I want to be paid once a month by my customers. I don't want it going to a third cut or getting too close to a third cut. So I usually do net 20. You can set this net 20. You could set this up in your tools to be a permanent thing. That's going to be down the road. Now, I put 1122 here. It already says 1122 here. I email it to my customer. Now we're done. It's done. It's saved. And you go to Actions and you do Send to Customer. Okay? Once you do Send to Customer, do you want to print it and hand deliver it to them? Or do you want to email it to them? You email it. There's email invoice templates that I'm going to show you somewhere down the road, but right now, here it is. Hello, Johnny. Here's your invoice for the previous month. You can change this. Right now, you can just do a temporary change as you're learning your computer, and you can put, here's your invoice for the work I did. By the way, your yard really sucked ass. It really sucked. I got underpaid. I should have charged you more. Why so much dog shit? Why don't your kids use garbage cans? There were snot rags all over the place. You can say whatever you want right here. Okay? And then you can put, please contact me at, there's your phone number if you have any questions. Thanks, Johnny, because I made this fictitious name Johnny. And there it is. When you email this, they're going to get this nice little intro to their email, and then they can click this link to see their invoice. And then if you set up online payments, which I'll show you that somewhere down the road, then they can pay right there online, or they can just mail the invoice to whatever address you put on your invoice, and that will be seen there. So we send them the invoice. I'm going to cancel it because I don't want to create an invoice for real. So we send them the invoice. Okay. 2 weeks goes by. This is the last thing I'm going to show you guys. 2 weeks goes by, and it's Tuesday morning of 2 weeks, and you log into Yardbook, and your customer page comes up. Now, when your customer page comes up, the first thing you're going to do, what do I got to do today? You click on jobs. Remember now, we're 2 weeks in the future. Oh, there's all my jobs. And then you print it out and you go mow. At the end of the day, you come back home, you log back into Yardbook, and then there's your customers again, because that's the default page. And now you want to create all the invoices for all the work you just did today. Go up here, enter the customer's name of who you just serviced today. Okay, we did Johnny Mac. And now, oh, there's Johnny Mac. Yep, we serviced him today. And then you can turn around, and before you write the invoice, you can go, oh, okay, wait, he's got an open invoice. Invoice 1001 would say pending if you emailed or printed it. They owe us from the 22nd of November $40. They didn't pay any on it. So I need to add today's service to this. So what I do is I open the invoice by clicking right here on the invoice, add an item, grass cutting, and then I put today's date. And let's just pretend it's 14 days later, so I don't know what it's going to be. 12/05, let's say. Now, that's why I put 11/22 here, even though it says 11/22 here, because I want a record. When they now get this invoice, they're going to go, wait a minute, I don't understand. Why do I owe you $80? Because if you don't put these two dates here, they're only going to see 11/22 up here, and then it's up to them to guess what dates you serviced. That one, was that one the 22nd, and this one's 14 days later? Or did he accidentally put two entries and he's only charging me for the 22nd? Because I don't remember getting an email back on the 22nd. There's all types of different things that can come up that's going to cause you headaches when your phone is ringing, because when you have 100 accounts, you have 100 bosses, and they all want answers now. So leave that date alone, because that was the original due date of the first 22nd. And remember, you want them to pay you in 20 days from the 22nd, and then you slipped in another cut 14 days later. So now they have 6 days, basically. Nothing's going to happen, but they know that they have 6 days now to pay you the $80 that they owe you, and they owe you for the 5th and the 22nd, and all questions are answered. When you got 100 accounts, and I keep saying that because it really does get real fast, and you got 5 customers calling you up with questions, you need to know your answers, and your answers are going to come from the notes you make. And so I can go back to my customer and I can say, well, yeah, on the 22nd, I serviced you for $40. And then again, 14 days later on the 5th, or whatever day it would be, I serviced you again for 40 bucks, so yes, you owe me 80. Then that's it. It's a done deal. And then again, now you would go up here to actions and once again send to customer, and you can email it to that customer and it's a done deal. Or you can print it. Or you don't have to do anything and it will be there unless you delete the invoice. We created a new customer. We assign that customer a 14-day schedule. We serviced that customer. We invoiced that customer. We emailed the invoice or printed it. Then we went back and we invoiced them one more time for this whole thing. Now, let's say on this cut, the customer pays you a check, $80. Okay, you come in here and in the morning or whenever the customer gave you the $80, you go, you put in Johnny, his information comes up, here it is, and now you got the one invoice for $80. Okay, all you do at this point is you would hit actions and right here record payment. And then how much did the person pay you? On what day? Did he leave you a note? You know, is there something you need to pay attention to? How did he pay you? And what was it for? I don't ever mess with this. I just leave it. Don't care. Sales or services. Check. Did they pay by check? Cash? I never put anything. I just leave it check because what's the difference? I don't care. And then the amount, $80. And there you go. What if they only paid you $40? Then highlight it and change it to a 4. Paid you $40. So when you hit save, it's going to leave a balance of $40. Well, what if they paid you $100? They only owe you an 80, but they owe you 100. Automatically, Yardbook, payment amount is larger than the invoice balance. Create a credit for the overpayment. Check it. Yes. When you click save, they're going to have a credit. That's stuff for down the road. Don't worry about that. But you can do it, and then there's a way to see that that customer has a credit with you, and you can apply the credit on the next cut. It's very simple to do. So that's it. That's a little bit about Yardbook there. We created an account. We assigned them a job. We scheduled them for a 14-day. It'll come up 14 days forever for the rest of your life. It'll always come up due every 14 days. You can edit those. You can change those. You can delete those. You can cancel those recurring jobs. It's all very self-explanatory with the little drop-down menus. That's some of the stuff that I do. So all of this is your upcoming, now that we did a recurring job, from his contact page, the customer's page, and then there's the $40 we put in, and then this would show if you had a balance. It was going to show 80, but we deleted that invoice. This is where it would show if you paid 100, then available credit would be 20, and then most recent payment would say 80 with the date that I put. He's got no open invoices, no payments, no estimates, and then here's a list of recurring jobs that this person's coming due on. And you can end that recurring job by clicking this link right here. Or you can edit this recurring job to change these dates. So he might be on a Tuesday. He might say, hey, can you put me on a Thursday? You can go in here, edit, change it to every 2 weeks on a Thursday. And that's that. That's how you would do it. All right, so just a little Yardbook user information there. Let's go to work.